Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host 𝙒𝙖𝙩𝙤 and this is Elmer Yuen, and he and I are going to talk about something that we have never talked before, because this is something that we've worked with in our lives and we think we know a thing or two about this. And this is concerning the new report that China has 7 nanometer technologies in its fab SMIC. Okay, so I know that anything below 10 nanometers, you need something called as EUV technology. But the newspaper report said that China has figured out a way to do it using the previous technology called the DUV. And you know, these are all like diffused ultraviolet, I think, and extreme ultraviolet. I could be wrong. Let's just say DUV and EUV, doesn't matter. Now, Elmer, fab business is pretty tough, and I have worked in fab industry and I know how hard it was to crack that 10 nanometer level, you know, the EUV, lithography, the challenges that I've had. So in your opinion, did SMIC really figure out a way to do this 7 nanometer, or is it some divine intervention?
Siri, you know, we are normal people, right? We are normal people. We don't have a criminal mind. You are dealing with the best criminal in the world who would do anything to have chips, 7 or maybe later 5 or even 3 nanos. So I'm from China. I know how to think. I was born in Shanghai. We have the same blood, the same genes. You know, Taiwan have tremendous amount of shipping between Taiwan and Shanghai.
Right.
SMIC is in Shanghai. TSMC is in Taiwan. Right. There's huge shipping going on. Taiwan has a lot of things processed in China, back and for all kind of merchandise. Right. And even chips or even wafers. Why? China is doing a lot of packaging for Taiwan.
Yes.
Right? So wafer shipping back and forth is nothing. So what's wrong with China using China have basically stolen all the TSMC process, all right, and people. So what if they, let's say there are 100 steps, right? You say many layers of, in the wafer fab. So let's say the most critical, maybe 20, that requires the ASML machine, right? Either the DUV or the EUV, even EUV, right? So they use the TSMC process to do everything up to that critical, send it to Taiwan. It's just another wafer. So even I let you inspect, you wouldn't understand what it is, the customs.
Right.
So once they finish those two, they have people infiltrated in TSMC. A lot of people. So let's say they process some wafers. Just those few steps that requires DUV or EUV. And then after they finish, send it back to China. China finish the other steps. It's nothing for them. It's so easy because just wafers, never mind other merchandise. They don't even have to pretend any other merchandise. Just wafers between the two cities. Shipping are huge. China has huge, you know, TSMC has a wafer, a packaging factory in Nanjing, right? They are shipping every day wafers. So what if it's mixed up and then they control both ends, and the shipping company and the airplane? So it's nothing. It's a nothing deal. And they've been shipping these chips, 7 nano chip, since the middle of last year to this mining company. You know, the using for mining. They've been using that for. So if US does not cut them off totally, meaning no chips, no wafers, no machine, no supply, nothing at all. This is what US have done. These guys in Washington and the guys in Silicon Valley, like you and me, we don't have the criminal mind. You're dealing with criminals. You guys have no idea how much they have stolen. Donald Trump used to use huge numbers, and we didn't believe him. Now we should start believing. The technology they've stolen has created how much wealth for them. That is the issue. Seriously, we still think, oh, maybe it's okay to do business with. It's you are being murdered. The U.S. is being murdered. Gave them money, gave them technology, let them steal, and this is just another steal. They don't have to come to U.S. They do it from between Shanghai and Taiwan. I mean, it's a simple thing. There are many ways. This is just one of the ways, and now suddenly U.S. is worried. They believe, oh, without that machine, they can't do anything. This is what you and I believe, right?
Yes.
Before we hear about this news, we are simple people. We're nice guys.
Right.
But they are not nice guys. They are criminals.
Now, let's say that U.S. is aware of something happening. The Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, is she's going to be visiting Taiwan soon. And China, of course, it's pretty wild. It's pretty upset about it. Do you think she's going to go or she's going to call it off? Because there's also a meeting, a phone call between President Biden and Xi Jinping that was supposed to have taken place this week, but because President Biden has COVID again, it's pushed out probably to the next week. It'll happen because both sides need it and they want it and they need it. So in this, do you think Speaker Pelosi is still going to go to Taiwan? And how do you think that will play out in China?
I think Nancy Pelosi has an ambition to become the next president. Mm-hmm. She wants to somehow jump this Kamala Harris. And, I think the Democratic Party are just trying to push Biden out. They know it's going to be a disaster with this midterm election and finally the 2024 election. So they are doing jogging, and Nancy Pelosi want the world to see that she can handle this. And Taiwan is everybody is focused in Taiwan because of the possible war. So I don't think she's backing down. She's very tough. She knows her term in the Congress is finished, right?
Right.
After this, she won't be there won't be a majority. They won't have a majority next year. So she's preparing for presidential election.
Let me ask you a simple question. If she wanted to become president, she could have thrown her hat in the ring when Joe Biden was contesting in 2020. Why did she not do that?
Let me explain to you. Now, these days, I'm sure you've seen the Hunter Biden story coming out.
Yes.
It's very serious.
Yes.
Meaning the Chinese understand they had Biden in their pocket.
Yes.
Before the election on the 2020.
And then they had the election also in their pockets, one can say.
then you see, they have a say. They have a say. Now that the Hunter Biden thing finally come out, even CNN or the left press are
right.
They have such a close relationship.
Right.
Hunter Biden have taken not a few million, but tens of millions, and something we don't even know. Means the Chinese know that they have Biden in their pocket. So they were helping out in the election. I remember you wrote something about it. Now Americans are very forgetting. Now nobody talk about that election anymore. There's no question there's a fraud in that election. And Chinese were behind it. Chinese, they all gang up together. Wall Street, Hollywood, Silicon Valley, you name it. Everybody gang up together against Donald Trump, and he lost. So Chinese was the one championing for Joe Biden. I mean, if without the Chinese, they would have picked somebody else. Chinese said, he's the good one. So there were a huge amount of money and in cheating. And Chinese is behind it.
So, it's so funny, right? Obama and Hillary and maybe Pelosi helped elect Xi Jinping as the General Secretary of CCP, and now the thing turns around and they are choosing who shall be the President of the United States. By the way, thanks for pitching my book the book's name is Who Painted My State Purple, and it is available in 𝙒𝙖𝙠𝙤𝙪.com. You can buy it from there and I'll be happy to ship it to you. I'll even put my autograph on it. Please go ahead and answer my question, sir.
We are little people. And we are being fed some news. But something very strange is happening, seriously. And the Chinese Communist Party is a criminal organization. they have long-term planning of what to do, how to infiltrate. So all of a sudden, you see Donald Trump lost his election, right? We just talked about. And then this guy Morrison in Australia lost. And then Abbey got killed. And then Johnson is getting removed. Somehow, the anti-communist forces are disappearing. So, I mean, I don't have any proof. But somehow we must think, how come? How come not the other way around? How come not the others losing? So there is a huge force. And this is the theory I'm saying to you. In the last 30 years, China have made $20 trillion from their export, IPOs, or loans from US. Mainly from US. The other countries have a balance of trade. But US have the capability to really give China all that money. And they might have used half to buy oil and raw material and so on. The other half, where is it? Now they're suddenly out of foreign currencies. All that money, they've been buying up influence. You cannot believe. I know Washington. I lived there. You can basically, a few $1 million go a long way. But the Chinese have billions or even $1 trillion to buy influence. It's irresistible. It's irresistible. The money is just too big. And our system, even little bit money, $1 million or even a few 100,000, you can buy a lot of things.
Yes, yes.
And we know it.
True, true.
You know it, but it's embarrassing to say it. But this is the reality. We are counting on such a great nation, but with so much flaw. That's the reality. But seriously, the Chinese are willing to wait sometimes 20 years. That's what they did in Hong Kong. They had patience, all the patience in the world. All right, Hong Kong. They promised that they were preparing for a takeover, and they've done it in the 25th year. That's exactly what happened. And they have patience, and they have good people, clever people.
So no discussion with you would be complete without asking about the palace intrigues inside China. Now, we all know that everybody is working towards this third term or for life general secretaryship for Xi Jinping. So you have one on that side. The other side is, we are hearing all the rumblings. We were one of the first ones to report about a run on the banks where the app was in the middle giving red cards to the people and not letting them take their money out, and the money had not gone to their account but somewhere else. Now we saw tanks trying to prevent people from going. Where do things stand today, in your opinion?
Everybody is wondering whether Xi Jinping is going to be in power. From beginning of May till now, he has not issued any order except insisting on this zero tolerance, which were very successful under Delta, the COVID Delta, but a totally ridiculous idea under Omicron, and now of course BA.5, that transmit very, very easily. So his zero tolerance, and by quarantining people, it doesn't work. So one building, let's say there are 2 people, or even one has detected positive, they're going to send the whole building to a quarantine center. I mean, or lock down the whole building for months. It doesn't work. So there's huge hatred. So finally, the economy also being so bad, and especially the real estate market, everybody think they were rich, and suddenly their property is lost value like a half. Really seriously, China have lost half the value, and they're not even able to sell. So suddenly everybody is getting very angry in Xi Jinping. So I believe they ganged up in April, and then forced him to give up power. So all he has is still the title for the military commission. He's the chairman of military commission and so-called the head of state. All the real work of the government has already gone to 𝙒𝙗𝙤𝙤. And Xi Jinping, I believe this will stay that way. Even if he continue the next term, it will stay that way. He will be a figurehead. And the real work, Because at the end of the day, economy is everything. Even though people have no democracy, but economy affects everybody, right? If the country loses money, the big powerful government also, they also lose money. So what Xi Jinping has done in the beginning looks pretty good, catch the corrupted official, sounds good, right? Everybody is happy with that. But when everybody lose money, so obviously, imagine the whole country, everybody's house lost, let's say, 30-40% of value and not sellable. Suddenly, no market for it. It's very serious. So that alone, I believe he will be a figurehead without power.
Well, there you go. This is where things stand in China. And coming back to the semiconductors thing. Now, viewers, think about this. We know that China and Russia are cooperating very closely. Even though Russia may have a ban imposed on it by the West on getting chips from Taiwan, they may have already found a backdoor route through SMIC, China, and so on. Do you think that is realistically possible? Because here, I'll tell you why it is, I have a doubt. See, every time China buys something from Russia, the S300, they make a knockoff. They have a S300 knockoff. Now they are getting S400s from Russia. They'll have an S400 knockoff. If Russia starts buying these chips from through China, then there's a good chance that China will also get it, right? So do you think that might still be happening?
China will get what? They will be making it.
Yeah, right.
China will be making it,
right.
And they're stealing some of the process in Taiwan. And they can supply the most sophisticated missile chips, which needs a very fast speed and a heat tolerance military grade. They will be supplying to Russia. And America, I'm sure, they already know. The US already know. But they are still not determined to cut this whole thing off. They have to cut off Korea. Korea has been trading with China, with the last president. Now with the new president, it's much better. They need to cut off Korea, cut off Japan, cut off Taiwan, and cut off US. No business, no chip business with China whatsoever. No final product, no machinery, no supply, no software, no testing. No, testing is very important. Must be a total cut-off. And I don't think the US is ready yet.
Absolutely not. In fact, one of the things that Biden is considering is withdrawing the tariffs now.
What do you do?
You know what, viewers, we don't want to be the, we don't want the doomsayers, but everything seems to indicate towards this. Tell us where we have gone wrong. We've been saying this every time all along we've been saying this, that there are problems and that all these countries don't seem to understand it. I don't know what it is.
Sometimes you have to agree with Xi Jinping. I mean, the West is falling and the East is rising. This is so nonsense. But, we are helping them.
Yes.
We are helping them.
Yes.
Especially USA.
Well, thank you so much, Elmer. And it's always a joy and pleasure to talk to you. And let's hope that at least some of this rubs off on the people who are going to be in power. But you have a very interesting theory there that Pelosi will leapfrog Kamala Harris to become the next president. So we'll wait and see how that plays out. But definitely there's something in the air. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for inviting me.